Oh god, man, it had even stopped streaming. Usually, sometimes, when OBS is closed, it still manages to, like, continue streaming. But it crashed for real. OBS dang crashed. I'll wait for all of you to be done watching your advertisements. You didn't get told the stream stopped? I imagine it didn't just keep going, did it? You guys didn't hear me like, oh jeez, oh fuck! Because I had to hit start streaming again. It was stopped. Okay, so we're not gonna open Edge. Granted, I did pee. Well, it's a good thing you did. Because, you know, these revelations may be so shocking that you gotta hope your bladder is empty. Okay, I guess we're not using Edge, because I made OBS crash. So we're not gonna do that. Do you normally get told the stream stopped? I mean, this... Or do you mean like a notification? It doesn't like that the screen will black out and say reload. Oh, was I just like frozen or something? Hold on. I think OBS didn't like it that I had windowed Chrome, and it made, since I had cropped it, it ensmallened it further, and it didn't like it when I tried to re-embiggen it. It didn't like it. Alright, we're just gonna see the whole thing, and I'm just gonna hope I don't reveal any personal information via this browser. There we go. So this is a... This is a card website. Crop out my bookmarks bar. You guys don't need to see where I'm looking, what I'm bookmarking. Okay. Whew. So. Oh. Secrets to the plush. There aren't any. I'm just making it up as I go along. That's the real secret. The real secret is suffering. Okay, now the first thing I notice up in the corner over here, yeah, you guys can see that. Up in the corner here, hosted from... Ooh, what did I say? Ulitsa Lenina 93. The fuck's... But that's the phone number that called Or that texted Tanya. So I guess this was the link that was blocked. I'm gonna write that out. Ulitsa. Come on, pen. L-I-T-S-A. Lynn. Nina. I don't know if 93 is the age of Ulitsa Lenina? Or what that means? I had to do a patch job on RoboFortune since the material was thinning out. Gracious. Taking her on a lot of adventures, aren't you? 7976 blank 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 3322. Very good. Okay. All right. Here are the words of Prof. F.I. Rybkin. I'm almost wondering if this is an anagram. No, actually, she was on my bed, but then again, she goes through the whirlwind that is me. Are you one of those real rolling around types in bed? I am Professor Rybkin. And I'm here to rel you the truth. The science is lying to you! This is what they won't tell you! On the woke media empires won't tell you about evolution. Imagine if humans, rather than being the generators of consciousness, were in a sort of parasitic relationship with it. What if the consciousness was an underlying, inseparable factor of reality, existing outside of an unconditioned... existing outside of and unconditioned by human brains? Is that what that means to say? Is that... Am I gonna be navigating typos here? Okay, so our man's trying to talk about the existence of a soul. That's what we're talking about. Or something akin to that. We know animals don't possess consciousness. Well, okay. How did humans come about it? And why does Professor Rybkin find the word possess to be inaccurate in this context? The existence of the hard problem of consciousness. Look here! Alright. Okay. Oh. Yeah, animals don't have consciousness. The hard problem of consciousness asks why and how humans have qualia, or phenomenal experiences. This is in contrast to the easy problems of explaining the physical systems that give humans and other animals the ability to discriminate, integrate information, and so forth. Such problems are called easy because all that is required for their solution is to specify the mechanisms that perform such functions. Philosopher David Chalmers, Super Nintendo Chalmers, argues that even if we have solved all easy problems about brain and experience, the hard problem will still persist. The existence of a hard problem is disputed. It has been accepted by philosophers of mind such as Joseph Levine, Colin McGinn, and Ned Block, and cognitive neuroscientists such as Francisco Varela, Guillotoni, sorry, I'm sorry, Mr. Tononi. I don't know how to pronounce your name. Christoph Koch. However, its existence is denied by philosophers of mind such as Daniel Dennett, Massimo Pigliucci, Thomas Metzinger, Patricia Churchland, and Keith Frankish, and cognitive neuroscientists such as Islas Dehanin, Bernard Bars, and Neil Seth and Antonio Damasio. Okay. Let's see. So I guess just the idea of the hard problem being like why are humans thinking so much compared to other animals? Which I personally think is a very human-centric way of thinking, because we don't know what is happening in an animal's mind, so we don't know that they might be thinking about tons of shit all the time, and they just don't have the ability to communicate it to us, so, you know, just... Okay. The existence of the hard problem of consciousness, among other things, suggests that consciousness, in fact, cannot be understood through traditional scientific means. The correlation between electric impulses and conscious phenomena is evident, yet how can we even begin to categorize the raw feelings? Look here! Okay. Oh wait, no, not search. Copy. What? Just take me to the Wikipedia page. Jesus. In philosophy of mind, qualia. I don't know if I'm saying that right, because I never understand these things, and they're made up letters they have. Singular form quail are defined as instances of subjective conscious experience. The term qualia derives from the Latin neuter plural form qualia of the Latin adjective qualis, meaning of what sort or of what kind. In a specific instance, such as, what is it like to taste a specific apple, this particular apple now? Okay. Examples of qualia include the perceived sensation of pain, of a headache, the taste of wine, and the redness of an evening sky. As qualitative characteristics of sensation, qualia stand in contrast to propositional attitudes. Oh, great image for this. Propositional attitude is a mental state held by an agent or organism towards a proposition. P. Okay. Where the focus is on beliefs about experience rather than what it is directly like to be experiencing. Okay. So, qualia having to do with just the actual, in the moment, what it is like to experience something, the nitty-gritty specifics of what's hard of understanding being alive. Yes, I understand. Oh. Okay. Well. Okay. Oh. Qualia obviously cannot exist outside the context of a singular mind. Okay? That is different from any physical phenomena we have ever researched. Thus, it is not unreasonable to assume consciousness to be a quality that exists unrelated to the machines of the brains. Such perspective was prevalent even among the older ones, so a term has emerged. The prince? Hold on. Qualia cannot exist outside the context of a singular mind. Okay. I'm still trying to, like, form an actual understanding of, like, what this sentence means, but I'm not sure I can manage. I'm not sure it means anything. I listen to a lot of podcasts about this type of stuff, and how a lot of it is just a bunch of crap and shit. Well, not necessarily the studies of, like, actual, you know, philosophers actually just, like, thinking about stuff and wondering about them, but... but things like how something called the Prince is gonna help us. Humans seem to have evolved an analog meat and fluid system, the brain, that conceptually mimics the inner workings of the Prince so well that the Prince was gradually fooled into thinking he was looking in a mirror. That has happened to... We have had instances of that in this game so far. Twice? One when we talked to what looked like a wax statue that we felt was like looking into a mirror. And then that wax statue told us about our friend, the little demon up there. And then Tanya describing her dream where she looked into a mirror in a poppy bud. So that probably means something. And when he saw his reflection dance a certain way, he would occasionally think it would be fun to dance the same way. And that's how the pain and suffering of the prince emerged. Hey, you didn't capitalize it all that time. Hey, if you're gonna do that, be consistent. When you're writing your whole page, Control F the word the prince just to make sure they got everything. Come on. Humans are on their own, nothing. Simple meat machines mimicking the grand consciousness. The grand consciousness, however, grants them the great depths of knowledge by letting them be its host. Thus the human race prevails. Okay. Yeah, we're really learning here. There's gonna be a test on this one later. Oh god! Minty's food alarm is going off. Okay, hold on. I've just looked. This is that sticker that became a meme that got co-opted by hate groups, I guess, in the game. Okay. Okay. We have a lot. There's still a lot to look at here. So let's take a 5-minute break. Let's all get up and walk around, center our minds, and try to be prepared for whatever we're gonna read next on this website. Ugh. Ugh. So, I'm gonna go feed my cat. I will be back in but a few minutes. So do not go anywhere. Well, you can, like, go to the bathroom or to get, like, a snack, but then come back. Don't, like, go really far. You can go to your bathroom or kitchen, and that's it. Okay? 5 minutes. Alright, we're back. I hope you were enjoying the Tetris soundtrack for the Philips CDI. It really... it's got that real multimedia sound that we all love. Okay. Alright. The cat has been fed. I went to the bathroom. And now I have to keep figuring out what is up with this. Why does Tetris have a good soundtrack for CDI? That's a great question. Oh man. Now that I'm not... Now that I'm playing a game where I can be live 2D again, you guys can see it when I drink something. Ugh. Okay. Alright. So. To recap. Professor Ribkin, who made this website, believes that human consciousness is something greater than just the sum of our biological parts. Believes that there is some type of entity called the Prince that humans are just mimicking. And something called the Grand Consciousness that I guess we are also mimicking. Are we mimicking both the Prince and the Grand Consciousness? Conceptually mimics the inner workings of the Prince so well that the Prince was gradually fooled into thinking he was looking in a mirror. And the Prince is suffering because he is now mimicking the humans who are mimicking him in the first place. And we're mimicking the Grand Consciousness. The Grand Consciousness now, however, grants them the great depths of knowledge by letting them be its host. Thus, the human race prevails. So we're hosting the Grand Consciousness. Sometimes a work of art makes so many human mirrors act the same way, the Prince thinks that the work is a creature to inhabit, crossed out, dance with. A clear example of this is the case of Chet Murray. This... not a real Washington Post. Not real. But catatonic woman awakened after 20 years. That probably sucks. But some kind of implication that Chet Murray was killed by a supremacist group. Is the creator of Dada Dog, a powerful pictorial agent called a meme in the modern World Wide Web. A blurred version of it can be seen below. Okay. It is stated in the article, what begun as a harmless picture was later used by a supremacist group consisting primarily of young white male adults. Its insane popularity is difficult to explain, as millions of such pictorial agents are born every day and forgotten in a matter of minutes. Apart from its illustriousness, the article artistic pretense has had a rather tragic and ironic fate. It almost seems to have gone completely opposite to the author's intentions, ultimately killing the author by the hands of the supremacist group. This is why the image is blurred. I'm not willing to be subject to its wrath. So, sometimes a work of art evokes the same behavior in enough people that it is seen as its own entity. It is maybe mistaken as its own entity to be inhabited by the prince? The controlled method of creating the ultra-influencing works of any media. For many years, I've worked with my colleague, friend, and a low-tier censored. A low-tier hunk. A low-tier bitch. Professor W.A. Lawrence. Since the aforementioned example was made without premeditation and had an effect it had due to pure luck? Question mark? It is believed that media items of high effectivity can only be created intuitively. This is not true. We have been fooled, controlled by the order of something. Hold on, can I? Okay, no, it just reads as blocks. Who utilize the artificially crafted mimetic agents in order to control society. Professor Lawrence was the one who devised a generalized method of, I assume, of creating such works and controlling asterisk pound sign controlling them. The special forces tried to shut him up, but you can't hide this from us. Is it wrong that I like this part because I'm looking at a screen with only 2 colors? You know, if you think about it, it looks like we're on the Street Fighter training stage with the grid background. Here's a link to his original original scientific paper. The password may not be revealed openly, but the daemon knows it. Look at answers.txt base folder. I trust your judgment. What? This is... Oh. They put in several languages just to make sure. A generalized guide for Uiwam creation? Well, Garage Heathen is the dev of this game. Password is required to view this page. Okay. Okay. So it says look in the answers.txt folder. So why don't we go... I'm gonna open my Windows Explorer. And oh god. I have this game on Steam, so I have to fucking go to the fucking Steam apps. Shit. Where forget how to get there. Steam apps, common. Ooh. Oh. Ooh. Oh wait, actually, hold on. I think that I put this game on my other drive. Hold on. There we go. Okay. So, in the Steam Apps folder under Common, under Who's Lila, we have a folder that just says Daemon. Upon opening it, there's several things. One of which being a text document labeled Answer. Parasites, in all capital letters, is what it says. Parasites. Alright, no, don't ever save any passwords ever. Google, thank you. Okay. A downloadable guide. Originally uploaded by W.A. Lawrence. Emergency Handling Part 3D. They have it in several languages. Guess we'll take the... Is this the Spanish one? The Spanish one is bigger. They got more words in Spanish? And then this... some form of Chinese... is... really little comparatively. Okay. Now open this PDF. Okay. Alright, now we're reading the PDF. Oh my goodness. Oh, you know what? Wait. Go back. You notice that this is a scan of a piece of paper? Because it's slightly sideways and there's like a crease. That's cute. Classified. A generalized guide to the creation of ultra-influencing works of any media. Okay, good. I think that this will help my Twitch channel become very popular, so this is good that we're learning this. Professor W.A. Lawrence, Professor F.I. Rybkin. You know, that name is so weird. Is that something backwards? That's like the easiest thing to... N-I-K-B-I-Y. Nick Beer. No, it's not anything backwards, it doesn't seem like. Wonder if it's an anagram. We might have to put that in an anagram unscrambler. And while I read this, anyone in chat who's watching, see if F.I. Rybkin is an anagram. Introduction. This paper aims to provide a reliable guide intended to be used by the consequent leader of the Lawrence fraternity. Okay, so I guess it's what our boy William was part of. This study was performed utilizing the method developed by Professor Lawrence and his colleague, Professor F.I. Rybkin. aforementioned means of study, although relentlessly denied by modern neurophysiology, were necessary to negate the known limitation of the rational worldview. The Lawrence method was, among other influences, based on the works of Marcel Grial, practical Tibetan Buddhism, and some practices of Kabbalah and modern Satanism. Oh boy. I have listened to a podcast about more than one of those things listed. Literature cited: Marcel Grial, Burners of Men, Modern Ethiopia, 1935. Something from 1938. Conversations with Ogotemel Eli, An Introduction to Dogon Religious Ideas, 1965. Wendy Doniger, 1990. Textual Sources of the Study of Hinduism, first edition, University of Chicago. Oh, an ISBN. You can look that book up. You can get that for yourself. W.Y. Evans Wentz, Bardo Thodol, commonly known in the West as the Tibetan Book of the Dead. I just watched a video on Nebula about the Tibetan Book of the Dead like a couple days ago. Christ, I'm the right demographic for this game. Oh my god, this game was a loaded gun ready to just shoot me right in my brain about all the things that I think are interesting. Oh, results see into paper, partially declassified. Nice siggy. Yeah, Henry recently decided to subscribe to Nebula because we kept meaning to. We were like, God, there's so many guys. I want to watch all of Jacob Geller's videos on Nebula. I want to watch all of Tirzu's videos on Nebula. And a whole bunch of other things. So we finally just got around to doing it. Tibetan Book of the Dead, call me when it's the Sumerian one. Okay. I'll let you know when we get into those Dead Sea Scrolls. Part 1, definition. First, let us define what we mean by the ultra-influencing works of any media. Uiwem. As we know, among centuries, a work of art would often surface, the popularity and meaning of which would often go beyond its author's expectations and beliefs. Such items would oftentimes be extremely relatable or otherwise influential for almost each and every one of its consumers. Okay. After gathering enough popularity, the item would often act as though it had a mind of its own. Such behavior, although only seeming conscious, would almost always ensure the item's relative longevity and effectiveness in social manipulations. For obvious reasons, many individuals, mages, and secret orders have attempted to create and control such items, with varying degrees of success. With the growing spread of World Wide Web, the Uiwim have taken many new forms. They now possess a generally lower lifespan, however vary in effects much more than their predecessors. We may see ideas, zeitgeist reflections, infectious personalities, and so on. They all go under a generalized term, meme. Oh boy. Okay. We must not confuse those with the orthodox social engineering tools such as online propaganda. However, the two often go hand in hand when not made by accident. The inherently occult requires very specific process of creation and nurturing. As stated in many most outrageous and thus often closest to the truth conspiracy theories, the FBI are known to use them. This partly explains the recently uncovered Farm Fields Project. Oh my god. See? Oh god, since it's just a picture of a scanned page. I have to imagine that this, since the Washington Post one wasn't real, this is probably also not real. Probably not. Okay, I'll look though. I'm too curious. The Times. .co.uk slash article slash vast cattle farms discovered near Pentagon. Vast cattle farms discovered. I hope I'm spelling this all right. Near Pentagon. Is that correct? Vast cattle farms discovered near Pentagon. And the verdict? Not real. Not real. Oop. Okay. So somehow, through the use of a supernatural meme, the FBI used it. It had something to do with there being cattle farms near the Pentagon. Okay. Part 2 goals. We, the fraternity of Lawrence and I. Oh, we, the fraternity of Lawrence and I, W.A. Lawrence. Oh, personally aim to utilize the UEM for the good of humanity. I myself am willing to transcend the human condition in order. Okay, classified. Part 3, the method. Theoretical base. The naturally appearing human-created UEM are no rare phenomena. The memes, you know? Yeah, that is what it's... Oy, the memes. Okay. The naturally appearing, human-created are no rare phenomena. However, such methodology introduces severe limitations to the practice. Unpredictability. It's almost impossible to tell whether the noospheric imprints, works of art produced by humans, have the qualities of UM. Is that even a real word? Noospheric imprints. Commonly, the main condition for such an imprint to acquire the expected infectiousness is the patronage of an accordingly powerful noosphere dweller. Some artists and creators do indeed use certain redacted in order to contact the dwellers. However, the results do not seem to show an increase in controllability and often lead to the complete annihilation of the author. Lack of control over the UEM. Due to the deity adopting and or temporarily inhabiting the UEM, its behavior remains at the whims of the noosphere dweller. As contact and control over the existing deities is out of the question, it is almost impossible to tell the ways in which the life cycle will unravel. As a solution to these glaring problems, the Lawrence fraternity offers a method of manufacturing an artificial noosphere dweller, surrogate mother of controllable UEMs. I see. The methodology was carefully extracted mainly from the works of Marcel Greyloux. They manufactured an artificial, supernatural being to control a magic meme. I imagine that is probably Lila. M. Greyloux was an Africanist researching the life and mythology of the Dogon people. One of his most important discoveries was instrumental use of a certain family of mushrooms called Tet. The Dogons seem to have found a way to communicate with one of the more suaspal Suasible, higher class noosphere deities. For security purposes, we will not disclose its real name, and we'll refer to it as the Snake Eyes. You know who else? Here has snake eyes. By modifying the traditional rituals of the Dogons, we are able to develop a reliable process for creating our own artificial new sphere dweller. Practical application and risks. As the newly created dweller needs a psychic base for its existence, we had to gather a group of people who, for the purpose of this experiment, were all told to create a tulpa with a predetermined appearance. While the brethren believed that the individual tulpas belonged to them only and didn't have any way of contacting each other, the very starting conditions, same tulpa appearance, character, and same meditation practices, have led to the birth of a psychic creature that persisted beyond their individual minds. Now, the police that we saw in last week's stream that were interviewing us, interrogating us, said they read William's journal and that it mentioned tulpas. I don't know what that is still, but they likened it to something like an imaginary friend. So I guess it's some kind of like, just manifested being, I guess, from the mind. I still can't get into that journal, so I don't know what's written in there about them. Need some water. I'm doing so much reading. Way more reading this stream than face manipulation. I didn't expect. Okay. Let's see. So it seems like they were all told to create a tulpa with a predetermined appearance. So it looks like they told people, imagine a guy that looks like this. And through doing that, they've managed to collectively believe that guy into existence. From now on, the creature will be referred to as L. Oh, I love Death Note. Their combined vision of her character would form an ever-changing yet relatively lively new sphere dweller that was completely artificial in her nature. Okay. We were sure not to accidentally invite any existing archetypal deity into the process, as it would introduce uncontrollable consequences. The existing archetypes are considered by far most powerful and least controllable new sphere dwellers. History shows cases of large-scale calamities induced by trying to use the archetypes of the blank, for example. This is so due to their universality. The more people know about a dweller, the more characteristics as well as psychic energy it borrows. Thus, some archetypes which exist in every person's mind from birth should be kept completely out of this discussion. They would be way too powerful and unpredictable. Wait a minute. I think this is what Chainsaw Man is about. I think that this is what Chainsaw Man's about. Maintenance. The artificial dweller we created was given vampiric behavioral qualities due to better controllability. We would have a means of stopping its activity almost instantly by cutting the source of nourishment. In order for L to exist, it needs a fixed amount of so-called psychic energy. In the more primitive times, the main way of releasing it was human sacrifice. As the human race developed, ancient Egyptians were the first to acquire a sort of psychic accumulator. Instead of archaic human murder, they would use a more quantitative, yet less powerful method of animal sacrifice. Alright. We utilize the same technique in order to feed El. For these reasons, the Brethren have a functioning cattle/critter farm. I see. So that is why the Pentagon supposedly had a cattle farm. Okay. Emergency handling. In an unlikely scenario, we lose control over El. Unlikely. Oh yeah, unlikely. All the necessary steps of regaining it are described in the locked document on the main computer. The password for the document is first gold. Well, you told me... you told me the password. First gold. The instructions regarding complete elimination of the artificial new dweller are present in the same file. Oh boy. Conclusions and achievements. As a result of our efforts, we were able to successfully implement a stable pipeline. A detailed report on each created their effectiveness, evaluation, and lifespan can be found. Present here are some of the more prominent items. 98 age. We saw the number 98 was listed at the top of that card website. Oh no, it was not. That one was 93. Sorry. Oh, and that's 98 hours, huh? Because that says 8 months, so it's 98. That went only 98 hours and was canceled. Of leg bones, some variants can still be found on secluded image boards, however they seem to be lacking any of the initial psychic impulse, natural end of lifespan. I want to know what of leg bones was. Dada Dog, still active at the moment of this paper's released, is not El's child. A detailed report among other can be found at... Oh. There's the actual picture of it. T, still active at the moment of this paper's released. First successful child of El. T has diverged from the expected meme format and was given a longer lifespan despite the significant raise in vitality due to the change of medium. T seems to have not amassed the required amount of psychic juice, probably. Let's have a little looky at that. Is that a VTuber? Or something? Is this... I bet that's something. I bet that's something that I don't know about. Yeah, change of medium. Wonder if it's something from, like, this creator's, like, another game or something. Oh, okay, that was it. That was the whole document. Okay. Well. Thanks for the document. God, we were looking at that so long, the game stopped capturing in OBS because we were just dormant. Okay, so now we know the password for this document. First... Wait, does it have to be all caps? First gold. Yeah, baby! Oh, I don't know why it's so funny to me that we just closed out of a PDF viewer and have now opened a PDF viewer within this game. I don't know why that's funny. Oh boy. Yeah, right, I was learning for so long, my brain is really expanded. It's the remainder of the document you've read before. Emergency handling. In an unlikely case of El going out of control, it's... It's useless trying to regain control. Kill her. Yes, you've read correctly, my dear William. Lila needs to be no more. The only way to stop her existence is by getting rid of all her hosts. Anybody who has ever come in contact with her is a potential host. After all, if nobody knows about her, she can feed off their energy. But without human hosts, she can't do anything. She's a construct of thought, unable to live independently of people's knowledge of her. Remember that, Will. You needed 4 pages to tell me that? Well. Do you think that the second I step away from this computer, that Lila is going to be pissed? Because I'm one of her hosts. She knows that I read that, right? Surely. Well. Doesn't look like there's anything new. Oh. Pull up my little... I didn't have the Damon window pulled up. I gotta make sure I can see what he's doing. So... Alright. So now our question is... what do we do next? Well, I know at the train station we'll meet another host. Oh, and then at the restaurant, like that cafe or whatever, it would be one. Let's sit and do this. Oh, okay, he won't. He won't if you've already done it. Right, interesting. Oh wait, oh, did he just say that? Oh no, yeah, he refuses. Okay. Interesting. I mean, I guess that makes it easy. I won't have to, like, see the same thing again. If I, like, know it, you know. Actually, you know, we have a phone we can dial. Now, is he gonna give me the same numbers before? No! This is a different number. 1, 8... I'll write this down too. 1, 8... Oh god, come on, pen. 1, 8, 3... 4. 1, 8, 3... 4, 3. One H 3 4 3. Hey bud, I read your document. Who is it? I must have dreamt it. Oh wait, is this the same conversation again? Does it just like produce random numbers? Oh yeah, it's the same conversation. So I guess our our little man just produces random numbers, and as long as you just put in what he says. And so that way you can't look up what the number is, because it's going to be different every time. Yeah, maybe we should go... Yeah, we still have the Empress. I still don't know what this wheel is for. Yeah, this game is really weird. Oh boy. Oh! Hi! I'm Special Agent Arnold Hill. William Clark, correct? Please come with us, would you? Oh boy. Only other game like this is Inscription so far. The Hierophant. I mean... You mean other games that I've, like, played on stream? Because, like, there's tons and tons of ARG-style games. I used to play... like, ARG games that were, like, just essentially, like, browser-hosted things, you know, when I was a youth on the early internet. But yeah, in terms of what we've played on stream, though, yeah, I think so. This is the only other ARG-ish thing. And I only played a sample of Inscription, to be fair. I didn't play that whole thing on stream. I played that whole thing on my own time. Because it's super weird having to get out of the game kind of things. Yeah, I mean, you know, ARG-type games they've been around a long time. I think just, you know, in the age of, you know, streaming and things, I think it's... And especially with, like, indie horror really having a renaissance over the last, like, decade, I think that those types of games are just kind of becoming more known about now. But I was, you know... I was playing browser-based ARGs, you know, way back in, like, 2005 and stuff. When maybe I shouldn't have, because I was probably too young to just be unsupervised on the internet like that, like downloading audio files to reverse them in Audacity so I can find out what the password is to get, you know, get to the next page of the ARG website. Okay. Let's take a look at our Hierophant. Yeah. Now, we only have 10 minutes left in the stream. So I'm trying to think, because I feel almost like we could go to Detective Yu's office, but I feel like that will be a much longer segment that we won't have time for. So... maybe instead... now that we know we have to kill hosts, let's go to our beginning save. And why don't we go to the train station? Oh. I'm like wiggling my microphone out of its stand. I've been moving it around so much today. No! Stay attached! God damn it. Oh no. I've disattached the mic arm. Here, hold on. 1 second. I fixed it. The way that my mic arm attaches to my desk, because my desk is a weird shape because it's got a drawer part, and so the edge of the desk, it's a whole thing. And so it falls off really easy if I move the mic around too much. Anyway, what I was saying. It's already 9:58, huh? Okay. We'll end the stream for now. So, next stream I think it'll be worth going to the train station to meet up with that one guy. And then I guess going to talk to the detective. Yeah. I think that's what's gonna be on order. Hope you find out where the wheel goes to and we can see a game that's in color. What, we have... Wait, you want colors? I've got colors. Here are some of the ones we got. We got coffee beans today. We got this one just today. There's some colors for you. Actually, kind of... It's just the same colors as me, but washed out, actually. We got Lucid Dream. Ooh. Ripe Pumpkin I still like a lot. Nightly Comforts. Does this not comfort you? Yeah. Oh boy. This... I didn't think that this game was gonna be, like, so involved. I looked up on how long to beat, so I'd get an idea of how many streams this would take. And I think it said, like, the completionist, you know, time is, like 8 hours or something. Something like that. Oh boy. So I guess this is going for a third stream, because this kicks ass, and I gotta know. I gotta know what I can do to defeat this evil, haunted meme that's possessing me. So I guess we'll do that next week on Thursday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time, as we do every week. Oh, but thank you guys for hanging out, man. This... Whoa. Imagine getting possessed by a meme. I feel possessed. I feel like I'm getting possessed by a meme right now. This guy... Possessed meme. Right here. Maybe we'll get to see a little bit more of him talking next week. Hey, buddy. Oh boy. Well, if this is your first time watching, and you've not heard of me before, I go by Ultra Pancake on most of the internet, and I am a full-time plush artist and just a part-time VTuber. If you are interested in checking out any of the lovely, high-quality, artisan, handmade plush dolls that I make, you can go to one of my social medias, listed up here, and the links to these and more are in the description below the stream. I actually just this week posted another real banger of a plushie, and there is only more to come. So consider checking it out. Oh, but that's gonna be it for us this week. Everybody say bye-bye to little demon. I'll see him and all the rest of you stinkos in the funny papers. Bye, guys. Bye. Bye. Ah. Bye.